Hi, Dr. Auer here. Today I wanted to do a real quick, brief video on a topic that we see a lot in our clinic, which is thyroid problems. And a lot of thyroid problems are treated with thyroid medication, but more often than not, there's other stuff going on. And so we get a lot of patients that come to see us and say, God, I can't lose weight, I'm tired, my skin's not great, my hair's falling out, I'm constipated, and just a myriad of other symptoms, and they've been to the doc and they've been prescribed thyroid medication, but they're just not feeling better. So they come to us and we take a big picture approach with functional medicine because we really like to dig into the root cause of all things within the body and all symptoms. So today I want to do a quick video on some basic thyroid physiology and why thyroid medication might not always be enough. All right, let's get right into it. So when we talk thyroid, the first thing that we need to understand is that it all starts up in the brain. So if we have your brain right here, your brain has your hypothalamus and then it has the pituitary. Your hypothalamus is the orchestrator. It regulates your body temperature and myriad of other things. And then the pituitary is a gland that releases a hormone that we all know when we talk thyroid, which is a hormone called TSH, which stands for thyroid stimulating hormone. Now, thyroid stimulating hormone, as it says, will stimulate your thyroid gland to basically produce a thyroid hormone called T3 and a thyroid hormone called T4. Now, the 3 and the 4 stands for the amount of iodine molecules that are within each of these ones. T3 is your active thyroid hormone. T4 is your inactive. T3 you get about 5% when your body makes it, and T4 is about 95%. So the majority of thyroid hormone is inactive when it's made. Now here's the thing, if you go to the doc and you have a high TSH, which means the brain is trying to produce more thyroid because maybe we don't have enough here, so it's signaling the brain and it releases more thyroid stimulating hormone, then typically your doctor will give you levothyroxine, which is T4. So if you go to the doctor, they might run a TSH. If it's normal, you don't have a thyroid issue. Well, maybe not. And they might give you they check T4. And that's all good, and maybe give you then some thyroid hormone. Now, I want you to think of T3, your active thyroid hormone, as some cash. Okay? Hard cash. It's a $100 bill. We want to go buy some shoes. All right? So you can take that cash, go to the store, buy some shoes, no problem. Now, T4, on the other hand, because it's inactive, I want you to think of T4 as a check. Okay? And a check, you got to go to the bank. You got to cash it. Hopefully the bank's open. Hopefully the teller's not falling asleep. And you can get your money because we need to convert T4 to T3 to make it active, right? Now, in your body, the bank is your liver. If I can write, your kidneys and your gut. The liver is about 60% of conversion from T4 to T3, and the other two are 20% each. So if the bank, your organs, your liver, your gut, and your kidneys are not working adequately, can you convert adequate T4 to T3? So we already have a potential issue. So if you go to your doctor, your TSH is high, and you get some T4, but you don't feel better, maybe the bank is not working, so you can't check, so you can't cash your check and go buy your shoe or shoes. All right. Now, the other thing is that once we convert T3, right, we have an active hormone, then T3 over here has to dock to receptor sites on your cell. It has to get into a cell, and when it enters into the cell, it can basically make energy within the mitochondria, which are your powerhouses, your batteries in every cell, and that makes a happy you and energy and makes you feel good and everything else. So here's another element that we need to discuss, is that this process of from T4 to T3 uses an enzyme called 5' deiodinase, which is not important, but what's more important is that this process needs cofactors. And these cofactors are zinc and selenium. So, let's just say hypothetically that we have a thyroid issue and your bank is working, your liver's good, your gut's good, your kidneys are working, but you have a zinc or selenium deficiency. So if we don't have enough zinc or selenium, we got a problem. And how many do we know that might have nutrient deficiencies? And these are very, very common deficiencies that we see with most of our patients. So if the bank ain't working, we got a problem. If these cofactors are not working, we have a problem. And then the next thing is right before we access the cell, we basically need things like vitamin A, zinc, and exercise so that we can actually bind to the receptor site and get the T3, the thyroid hormone, into the cell. So if we don't have enough of this and we're not exercising and everything else, guess what? We may not be able to get this into the cell. And last but not least, if it even gets into the cell, what if your mitochondria is not really working well because you maybe need some CoQ10? Or we maybe need some L-carnitine or other factors, B vitamins, who knows what, that can help with making energy within the Krebs cycle and everything else of the cells. So I think you're seeing it can get a little bit more complicated than just TSH, T4 and giving some levothyroxine. The final piece, and this is big, is that about 60% of all hypothyroid patients, women, have a condition called Hashimotos. Hashimotos is an autoimmune condition where we produce antibodies, thyroid peroxidase and thyroid binding globulin antibodies, and these antibodies attack the thyroid. So if your doctor only runs a TSH, maybe a T4, but does not run antibodies, you don't have the full picture. That's a pretty extensive list of other issues, and I'm not even done. Because let's just say that you're stressed out all the time. Stress increases cortisol. Cortisol is produced within the adrenals. And adrenals are like the fast car, the Camaro on the freeway, left lane, pedal to the metal, going really fast. Your thyroid, on the other hand, is the slow and steady driver, 65 miles an hour, right-hand lane. If we're making energy from the thyroid and we're super stressed out, the body has to down-regulate something because otherwise there's going to be too much energy, too much amping up. So if we're stressed all the time and the adrenals in overproduction, well, guess what happens? The body puts on the brakes right here by increasing something that we call reverse T3. And reverse T3 is the brake pedal for the thyroid that says, hey, thyroid, slow down. We got the adrenals pumping over here. Let's slow down the basically conversion or the utilization of T3. So to summarize it up, if you are not losing weight, if you're having brain fog, cognitive issues, constipation, skin issues, hair issues, who knows what, and you're suspecting that you have a thyroid problem, running a TSH or also T4 is not adequate. You need to have a full thyroid panel. You need to understand how well your body can convert. Do you have the cofactors? Are other hormone elements in play? Can you make energy within the mitochondria? You need to understand this picture so that you can basically come up with an efficient treatment and feel better. If you're curious about this, feel free to give us a call for a discovery call. Glad to discuss with you how I might be able to help with your thyroid. Feel free to leave a comment in the section below. I have a nice slide on this. Sorry, this is a little bit messy, but if you want a slide that kind of like highlights all these points, I'm glad to email that to you also. All right, so I hope this was helpful. Leave any comments, if you have any questions, glad to answer them, or get on a call with you to see how I might be able to help. Thanks so much, and we'll talk soon.